Hi, I'm Kathy Rosenbaum. I've been married for almost 48 years. I have 3 children and 11 grandchildren that bring great joy to my life. Being a disciple of Christ to me means, of course, you go to church every week, at least once a week. And also, it also means how you react with other people, loving, kind. I grew up in a very Catholic family. My mom and dad were very strong Catholics. There was no excuse to miss Mass. And then even when I was in school, college, I never really missed Mass. A lot of people go through a period of time where they quit going to church. I never did that. I think I just felt guilty. Didn't always get a lot out of the Mass back then, but as I got older and started taking classes, Bible study classes, and raising children, I realized the importance of my faith. Loving your neighbor can be anyone around you, your next door neighbor, someone at the grocery store, uh, your family. It also, what it means to me is that you're always willing to help, be support for them, be there to listen if they need somebody to listen to, help them out if they're in a bind. Um, and also, sometimes it means being tough with them if you see that they're going down the wrong path and maybe guide them in the right path. When I was in the 6th grade, my grandfather died. And at the funeral, I was watching an uncle who said, he was standing there, he was people, supporting people that were in grief. And I thought, wow, how do you know how to do that? And eventually I learned the more funerals you go to, the better you get at it. But sometimes it's just maturity and knowing that it's okay to talk about the death and the person that died, because that's really what the person needs. Ways in which I have uh, done things to help others is somebody moves into the neighborhood that's brand new in the neighborhood. I always make a point to go introduce myself and let them know that I'm there if they need anything, just to make them feel welcome, because I used to move a lot as a child and I know what it feels like to be new in the neighborhood, and it just feels good. It makes them feel like, oh, somebody noticed that I'm here and I'm new and I want to help. I worked in a school. I was an attendance secretary in a school, and a lot of times, every year there would be a child or several children that needed extra attention. I didn't really think about it. I just volunteered, and in that process, I found out that, you know, these kids need somebody to pay attention to them, thinks positive about them, give them support. This one girl, I started with her when she was in the 6th grade. I'd go have lunch with her. I'd do different things like that with her. I'd take her out for her birthday and take her shopping, because she came from a family that was not the best. And I went to her, my husband and I went to her high school graduation. And it was like my own was walking across the stage, because I had been with her. She'd had a couple babies. She had a few things in her life that were very difficult. She had a mom in and out of her life, and we still have a relationship. And she notices me all, in places, and you can see the big smile on her face. Oh, hi, Miss Rosenbaum. So it's those kind of things you don't realize at the time what you're doing, but then later on you realize, wow, she really was glad that I did that for her. I have been involved with the Acts retreat, and I have teamed almost every year with that. One of the reasons is it's a joy to watch some of these women go through the transformation they go through in just a short weekend. But also it helps me keep me on track of where I need to be with God. Focusing on God, it always just puts me in the right frame of mind. I guess because I know what Jesus did and how he um, dealt with some of these people, it just makes me feel like if I want to get to heaven, I need to do some of these things. But I also don't find that it's a chore. I enjoy seeing people that are happy. I've had to share things like at the Acts retreat, share stories about myself, and then realize that I am helping others who have gone through some of the same things I have. More so, generous with your time and your talents that you have. Uh, Doing something sometimes when you really don't feel like it, you need to. And there have been times that I really didn't feel like it, and then when I got through it, I was glad I did it. Uh, you're always willing to be there for people. Both of my girls had depression, and at the same time, my husband found out he had cancer. He had hairy cell leukemia, and it was a little overwhelming for me. And I remember my son was scared, and I found him under his bed crying one night, and we went outside to talk about it. And I pointed out to him how all these other people had problems. It's not just us. Everybody has this. We just have a lot right now. My neighbors and our friends were a big help to us. My neighbor across the street set up a food train where every other day we were getting a full meal for dinner. Um, they, my husband was involved in Scouts. The Scouts mowed our grass. Uh, People just would do all kinds of stuff to give us support. Not only do you need to be loving and kind, but you also need to be firm and about things that you believe in and or that you don't believe in. Let them know whether it's, and a lot of times it could be a neighbor, it could be someone you work with, and sometimes husbands. Yes, they do things that, like my husband was not a strong practicing Catholic. I mean, he went to church every week because I went, but he didn't always see the importance of what I saw. And that was a struggle at times. And then he went on the Acts retreat finally, and that did it. He changed, and he's leading meal prayers in the restaurants now, doing all kinds of things that I prayed about for years, and finally it happens. If I could sum up discipleship in one word, I would say love. If somebody needs something, I need to help them. I just have always felt that way.